A midlife crisis is more than just a cultural stereotype. It's a real psychological struggle that can surface between the ages of 40 and 60. Often triggered by aging, loss, or unmet expectations, it can actually lead individuals to question their identity, make impulsive choices, or abruptly abandon long term commitments. While not officially classified yet as a mental illness, the emotional and relational fallout is very real, especially for the spouses and families left behind. This podcast gives voice to those living through the aftermath, exposing the hidden pain and seeking accountability, healing, and understanding. Thank you for joining us today on MLC Bomb Drop and Beyond. Have you ever looked at someone you loved and thought, who are you? You're not just different, you're not just distant, but you're gone. Like something has taken over, like the person you knew is just no longer there. People say it all the time in midlife crisis. Gosh, they've gone to the dark side. My wife or my husband is like a demon got hold of them. But when you're living it, honestly, it feels exactly like that. But what else explains it? The coldness, the cruelty, the complete lack of empathy. The way they can look at someone who loved them for decades and treat them like they're disposable. They mock their pain. They rewrite the past. They abandon their responsibilities. They blow up their family and they call it freedom. They can become deeply influenced by something that distorts reality, something that twists truth, erases empathy, justifies harm. And when that happens, they don't just act differently, they become absolutely unrecognizable. What you're witnessing is not random. It's a combination of identity collapse, emotional avoidance, and a powerful need to escape discomfort. But here's where it gets dangerous. The brain starts rewriting reality to support the escape. Suddenly, the loyal spouse becomes the problem. The stable life becomes a trap, and destruction becomes necessary for happiness. And obviously, that's not clarity, that is complete distortion. And then enter the affair partner, because they don't just show up, they step into a very specific moment. When someone is unstable, vulnerable, and rewriting reality, the affair partner shows up and becomes the validator, the escape hatch, the emotional amplifier. They hear the story, and instead of questioning it like most people would, they actually reinforce it by saying, you deserve better. Oh my gosh, you've been unhappy for years. You should choose yourself. And just like that, boom, the distorted reality now becomes real. And this is where something really important happens, because together they create a little bubble. And inside that bubble, everything feels intense, everything feels right, everything feels like fate. But outside that bubble, there's absolute wreckage. Wreckage of the family, children, history, and truth. When someone is in the middle of a psychological storm, the first person who offers escape can look like destiny. But like I've said before, they're not destiny, they are a life raft. And life rafts are not meant to last. So are affair partners influenced by the same dark dynamic like MLCers? Well, in many cases, yes, in a psychological and moral way, because they are participating in deception, benefiting from someone else's collapse, and helping maintain a false narrative. And over time, they begin to believe it too, just like the MLCer. And just know, you cannot build something real on top of something broken that you refuse to face. And that applies to both the MLCer and the affair partner. So now we'll shift to Easter, because this is where Easter comes in, and I want you to really hear this part. Easter is not just a holiday, it's a message. At its core, Easter represents truth rising, restoration after destruction, and light overcoming darkness. It is the ultimate reminder that what is real cannot stay buried. And in midlife crisis, they say, follow the feeling, destroy what no longer serves you, rewrite your past to justify your present. But you guys, Easter says truth still exists, accountability still does matter, and what was buried will rise. Because here's the reality no one wants to talk about. You can run from truth. You can bury truth. You can build an entirely new life on top of it. But eventually, truth has a way of resurfacing. So to the affair partner, if they're listening, you may believe this is love. You may believe you were chosen, but understand this. You were chosen in confusion, not clarity. And when clarity returns, everything built in confusion is at risk. And to the MLCr listening, if you're in this and you're listening, you may feel alive right now. You may feel justified, but ask yourself, at what cost? Because the people you were hurting were not your enemies. Those people, that family you abandoned, they were your foundation. And you guys, this is why people describe MLC, MLCers, and the affair partners as the dark side. Not because something supernatural took over, but because they disconnected from truth, they disconnected from empathy, and they chose escape over responsibility. The bomb drop makes it feel like darkness won, like everything good was destroyed, like truth doesn't matter anymore. But Easter tells a different story. Darkness is temporary, truth rises, and what's real doesn't stay buried. And if you're the one that was left standing after the blast, after the bomb drop, just remember, while they were running, while they were rewriting reality, while they were choosing escape, you were surviving. You were holding the line. You were facing truth. You were carrying the weight that they dropped. And that matters because resurrection isn't just about what rises from the dead. It's about what refuses to die in the first place. And that is your integrity, your love, your ability to see clearly, even when everything around you was distorted. Remember, Bomb Squad, you didn't lose yourself. They did. And while they are still in confusion, you are already rising. You are stronger. You are clearer. You are wiser. So no, the story doesn't end with the bomb drop, and it doesn't end in the darkness. Because while deception collapses, you rebuild. Happy Easter from MLC Bomb Drop and beyond. And I'll see you in the next episode. Hey guys, this is Trina, and I want to take a moment to speak directly to anyone who didn't choose the collapse, but is living with the aftermath. When a spouse enters midlife crisis, the damage doesn't unfold slowly. It happens like an explosion. One day you're living a shared life with your best friend, and the next moment, that person that you have trusted and loved for so many years has emotionally disappeared almost overnight, rewriting history, minimizing the damage, and running from the very family they helped build. Friends are confused, the story gets simplified, and the spouse left behind is often expected to handle it quietly, gracefully, all while absorbing the fallout all alone. After the bomb drop, a survival guide for the left behind spouse was written for you. This book doesn't offer platitudes or false hope. It names what others avoid. Inside, I will walk you through what is actually happening when someone runs from themselves, why chasing answers only deepens the wound, and how to stabilize your life after emotional abandonment. In this book, we talk about why these departures feel so sudden and destabilizing. Because, in fact, they are destabilizing. And why the spouse who stays is often blamed, erased, or silenced. Why saving yourself is not abandonment, and how to grieve someone who is still alive while finding your footing again. This book does not promise reconciliation. It offers you guys something more necessary at this time, and that is stability, dignity, and a way forward when someone else has chosen to run after the bomb drop. The Survival Guide for the Left Behind Spouse is available now on Amazon Kindle in both ebook and paperback. It's also available in audio version on Spotify. And if you're standing in the blast radius and wondering how to survive what you did not cause, this book was written for you. Hey, if you have a story you'd like to share with our listeners, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email mlcbombdrop@gmail.com. Again, that's mlcbombdrop@gmail.com. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon. Hey, some resources that are available for you guys are thewifeexpert.com. That's Lori McDermott over there at thewifeexpert.com. She also has a new app out. There's tons of videos that can give you all kinds of information on no matter where you are on your MLC journey or trying to reconcile with your spouse. So check out thewifeexpert.com. And if you're not sure if your spouse or yourself is in maybe approaching or in a midlife crisis, be sure to check out Kenda Root's quiz at midlifecrisismarriageadvocate.com. Again, that's midlifecrisismarriageadvocate.com. That's a quick little 2-minute quiz. It's free. So check that out as well. We have a ton of resources out there for you guys. So check them out. Thanks. The stories and events discussed in this podcast are for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered legal, medical, or professional advice. Any names, locations, or identifying details have been changed to protect privacy. Any similarities to actual persons, living or dead, or real events are purely coincidental. The information presented on this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional advice. Always consult with a qualified expert regarding any decisions related to your specific situation. The views expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the podcast creators.